Hey everyone, this is a short video about understanding when to use the DOI and when to use the URL and how to find a DOI. So, you are looking in APA 7, of course. You are looking at a references list. Very few sources, but our example. So the first one you see here, you have the authors, the article title, italicized the journal and the volume, pages. That looks great. And then you have a URL. Drop the second one, looks just the same. And then the third one doesn't have a URL. And the fourth one has a DOI. So you've got three things going on here. First off, let's take your first one. Everything in the citation itself is correct except for the URL. APA 7 says if you found an article in a library database, a peer-reviewed article in a library database that did not have a URL, a DOI, you would not put a hyperlink here, a URL. So this should be removed. But you cannot decide whether there's a DOI or not based on if the database gave it to you. So don't trust the databases similarly as you don't trust them with citing APA accurately. So here's what you need to do. You're going to have to identify or discover whether there's a URL for this article. How do we do that? Well, we're going to it's incredibly simple. We're going to copy the journal, not the journal name, the article title. So I'm doing a Control-C. I'm going to open in a new window, and I'm just going to paste the article title into the Google search, and it's going to bring me up, it's going to bring up results. So I can look at some place like Semantic Scholar, which is an open resource. Also, this one is also open resource, and then you can see there's a link to open source EBSCO. Let me click on this title. This is the correct title, and you do have your authors. They are the same, but there is no DOI listed. I'm going to go back to Google. I want to double check it, so I'm going to look at this other open source, and I want to make sure, nope, no DOI listed there. And then I'll also go to EBSCO and look at the EBSCO record. And I just want to verify that there's nothing that got missed. So I've looked at three places. When you get to some of these others, they're not the same. So what am I going to do here? There is no DOI that I could discover. Use this simple process. So what does APA say? It says remove the URL because you found it in a library database. And the link to the DOI and URLs is in the EDD Research Guide. So look that up in the EDD Research Guide, APA 7th page. There's a tab DOI or URL, and it will link you back to the actual statement by APA that I'm referencing. So this is the way the first citation should look. You're going to do the same thing with the second one. You're going to look to see, is it available? If you see a DOI, you've got to put it in like this without a URL. So you always have a DOI or a URL, not both of those. Okay? You can have none of those depending on if your article was found in a library database. So I hope this helps. Chances are it may muddy it, but what you have seen is the easiest way to find if there's a DOI, and you must, as a doctoral researcher, apply that and use that because your dissertation needs to be as accurate as possible. And APA says that DOI will help a researcher beyond yourself find your information because a DOI is a universal number that will open that article, at least a citation of it, for any other researcher. And that's important. You don't want something that would be dead links, and you don't want something that is not accurate. let me know if you have questions.